I'm going to give you the revision on the St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship by investment fees. St. Kitts and Nevis has a 60-day accelerated process if you want to pay extra also to speed up this citizenship process for yourself and your family. The accelerated application process is also called the AAP, was approved by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis in October 2016. It allows applications with the Citizens Investment Program to be accelerated to a 60-day processing period. Now, interested persons applying and utilizing the AAP will still be required to meet all mandatory criteria and submit the necessary supporting documents to apply for the citizenship by investment. Now, applications will be given an accelerated treatment from the Citizenship by Investment Unit, due diligence providers, and the St. Kitts and Nevis Passport Office. As a bonus, this process also includes the application and processing of the St. Christopher and Nevis Passport. Now, when applying using the AAP, you'll see an application completed about 60 days, with some applications actually coming back as quick as, with approval, as quick as 45 days. The AAP process fees, inclusive of due diligence fees, are as follows. The main applicant's $25,000 US, and the dependent above 16 years old is $20,000 US. Now, in addition to the $25,000 US and $20,000 US, there's an AAP processing fees. An additional fee of $500 US per person will be applicable for the processing of the St. Kitts and Nevis passport for any dependents under the age of 16 years old. All right, now there is a disclaimer that they're throwing out, basically stating that owing to the extended turnaround time of third-party due diligence, contributor applicants from the following countries will not be eligible for the AAP, and these are people from Iraq, Yemen, or Nigeria. Now, in this video, I'm actually going to give you the investment costs and fees of three options of getting citizenship in St. Kitts and Nevis. Number one is the Sustainable Growth Fund. Number two is the real estate option of investing in fractional shares of a property with a minimum investment requirement of at least $200,000 US. And number three is a real estate option of investing into a property where you own the whole property yourself, with a minimum investment requirement of $400,000 US dollars. Also, if you're making at least $150,000 US dollars a year, and or you have a net worth of at least $1 million US, and you like to legally get your income taxes to zero, how to get a second passport as quick as 3 months, do three things. Hit the subscribe button here to the right of your screen. You'll get new videos as they come out automatically. And number two is I'd like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below and I'll be glad to get with you. And number three is go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and ask for some help. Okay, now there is an important note that you need to be aware of, and this can save you a lot of money. And that is if you have children that are 16 years or older that want to get citizenship, also there's a cost to do a background check on them. So the figures would be thousands of US dollars more than what I'm showing you in this example, because in my example, the two children are under 16 years old. So no background check fees apply to them, which is $8,000 US. It's $4,000 for each child. Now, this added cost would apply to the Sustainable Growth Fund or the real estate option. There is no refund back on the Sustainable Growth Fund. It's you're throwing. I don't even know why they call it the Sustainable Growth Fund, because it's none of it's coming back. Okay, you're basically giving it to the government. Okay, the figure on the Sustainable Growth Fund is highly discounted by $45,000 for a family of four because of the COVID-19 virus special that's going on right now. The regular cost for the Sustainable Growth Fund is $195,000, but during this promotion, the Citizenship Department has reduced these fees to $150,000 for the head of the household, plus three dependents, including the spouse as a dependent. Now, in other words, the charge of $150,000 US is the same for four people as it is for one person under the program while this promotion is going on. So this is why you really, if you're thinking about doing this, you really need to, it'll save you a lot. In fact, this discount actually is planning on ending this month in January 2021. And I will not know if it will be renewed after that. So if you're interested in this option for your family, I would go ahead and make a move on it. I would jump in right away because you're looking at $45,000 savings for a family of 4. Now, the total figures on this include the government fee for a family of 4 people, application fees for 4 family members, and background check fees for a husband and wife only, because in this example, both kids would be under 16 years old, so the background check fees, again, would not apply, saving the couple around $8,000 in total fees there. And again, I want to express something to you, because I've had people before that contact me, and they're sick because they contact me right after their children had birth dates, or they're coming up and we can't get them through in time. So you really need to make a note of this, that is, if you're thinking about getting a second passport and citizenship and you have kids that are under 16 years of age, you need to rush to get this done, because you're going to save $4,000 US for each child, getting them citizenship before the age of 16 years old, because no background check will be required on these children at these younger ages, as long as they're under 16. Now, also, if you're thinking about having children, this is real important here. If you're thinking about having children or getting married later on, you need to jump in and get the citizenship right away. And you need to do this before, not after you're married and have kids, because if you marry and you have the children after you get the economic citizenship, you can naturalize in no time the children and also the wife, and you avoid all these high economic citizenship fees if you do that, because the naturalization fees are almost nothing. Most people don't know this. I'm telling you stuff to prepare ahead of time. I hardly see anybody ever bringing this stuff up, but I have clients that come to me all the time, and they just haven't been versed on this, and you need to know this ahead of time because it will save you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. There are also passport fees and application fees for family members. All this totals up, and this is the total for the Sustainable Growth Fund, is $163,880 US. Now, normally this total is $208,880 without the COVID-19 promotion, but can be thousands more than this if you wait until your children reach age 16 years old, because the background check fees will be thousands of US dollars higher once they hit 16 and older. The figures that I just quoted does not include the legal fees, though. Okay, that could vary, and I can get with you on that and give you more distinct figures depending on how many people in your family, and there's several factors, and I'm going to go over some other things on that before I finish here. But there is no fast track program in the Caribbean that will give you as many countries and territories that are visa-free or visa-free on arrival, that has no income tax inside or outside the country, no capital gains tax, no estate or inheritance tax, except for St. Kitts and Nevis, what they're offering here. Now, real estate options, there are 2 types. You have basically ownership of fractional shares and buying the whole or buying the whole property, where you own the whole property yourself. Now, all properties that qualify for citizenship have to be bought in areas that have been designated in an approved citizenship development. You can buy shares of a hotel, shares of a house or condo where you own a fraction of that property. But now, as I've mentioned before, I don't advise getting fractional units, but it's your choice, okay? They're harder to resell when you resell it than buying the whole unit yourself, even if the unit's higher at $400,000. Now, if you go with the fractional option, you would be required to buy a fraction of a property by owning shares of that property with a minimum purchase of at least $200,000 US dollars. You will have to hold the shares for at least 7 years before you can resell them. Otherwise, you'll lose your passport citizenship if you sell the shares before this time frame's out. The $200,000 US dollars fractional unit total, with all the fees, including government fees, background check fees, application fees, passport fees, would equal $289,080 US dollars. Now, you can buy a whole, this is the third way you can do it. You can buy a whole property, whether it be a house, villa, condo, or land, where you own the property as the sole owner with or you can do it with your wife. I'm just giving you an example there, but you cannot hold it in a company or a trust, not citizenship property. You can get other properties, and I got other videos on that, where you can put them in a trust or a company, but they changed the law in 2012, and you can't do that anymore. It has to be in your name, or it can be in joint names with you and your wife. The total cost, including the $400,000 US property, with the background check fees, application fees, passport fees, and government fees, would equal $489,080. Now, the fees on the property would not include, is again, like I said, legal fees or fees that the purchaser pays in the amount of 0.2% of the value of the property to the government as an assurance fund payment, and the purchaser's title to guarantee by the government. This works a lot like title insurance. They just call it guaranteed funds to cover that. If there's a mess up on the title, it just protects you as the buyer. Now, we do have, this is something you might want to take a note of. We do have a developer. I just talked to him a couple of days ago, and they're offering a special deal where if you buy a condo to get citizenship before the end of February 2021, they're just opening this up for a short period of time. He will not only pick up your service provider legal fees for the submission, and we're talking about thousands of dollars here, for the legal fees for the submission of the citizenship paperwork, saving you literally thousands of dollars in legal fees, but they're also offering a special deal where when you buy a property from their development, they will, as soon as you buy it, with your permission, you can sign what's called a leaseback program on your property. And if you agree to do this, then they'll pay you a huge lump sum up front that covers your rent for 5 years. Then he takes the risk of renting all your property out for that 5-year period. But you have no hassles and headaches you have to deal with. And there's no gap times you got to worry about. Somebody goes out and doesn't come back in for 3 or 4 months. You don't have to worry about that because your money gets paid all up front for the 5-year period. Now, he has contracts with the vet school to medical schools, and the schools love working with this guy because the development has real good tight security for the students. Now, in this leaseback agreement, he also waivers all your condo and maintenance fees for that 5-year period if they do the leaseback. Where basically you spend, you don't have to spend any time dealing with this. That's the great thing about it. And a lot of people will get properties. They don't want to have to mess with these properties overseas. And you don't have to here. He deals with everything. And they've got almost 100% occupancy rate. It's probably the highest of any occupancy rates in the country. So they know they can get, as soon as somebody moves out, somebody else will be moving in right away. But you don't have to mess with that because your money's been paid. And then they'll, after the 5-year period's over with again, if you want to renew that lease back, you can do it all over again. That's the unique thing about this. But he is one of the biggest investors in the country, and his family's been in St. Kitts for over 50 years. He's got a good reputation as a developer on the island, and they don't do any building with debt. They pay everything with cash, so you never have a problem. And all these units, too, are going to be already finished when you buy them, so you don't have to worry about that either. I like working with this company because I know that you won't have problems with them, and they've got real good deals with no hassles that you got to deal with renters and stuff because you're not having to deal with it at all. It's a total turnkey project. Your money's paid up front. They take the risk. If you're making at least $150,000 US a year and you got a net worth of at least $1 million US, and you want to get your taxes legally down to zero, how to get a second passport as quick as 3 months, do 3 things. Hit the subscribe button to the right of your screen here, and you'll get new videos as they come out. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, notification bell next to the subscribe button. And number 2 is I'd like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below. And number 3 is go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and hit the top bar where it says apply with us, fill out those questions. And then at the bottom of the questionnaire, it says send it to us. Just hit that and we'll get back with you. We deal with a lot of citizenship by investment and residency by investment countries all over the world. I think you'd be interested in learning about. And I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.